Ray Reardon into the final on his way to his sixth title.
Ray went down the bottom with the people because he was just electric with his laughter and his joke telling.
Raymond Reardon, commonly known as Ray, born on the 8th, 1032, in a mining village in South Wales called Tredegar in Monmouthshire. I was down the mines at 14 years of age, so teenager, 13, finishing school, down the mines, and I spent 11 years in the mines actually. But my teenage life was down in Tredegar, which was very interesting really because I played all the sports, all of them. And of course the one I loved more than anything else was the one that I made a living from, which was on the Green Bays snooker, as they say. I didn't turn pro until 1967-68, and I did 6 years, I did 6 years, 7 months in the police force actually. And I was up in Scotland at the time doing an exhibition tour for a week in my holidays of the police force. And whilst I was up there, I got a telephone call from the Home Office saying that they'd had trouble with some billiards and snooker players in South Africa, and could I go out there and put it right? Bearing in mind I wasn't the English champion at the time. I hadn't been for that for about 3 or 4 years. So that was nice, and I went to South Africa, did this tour, and on the way back I met a guy called Ken Shaw, who was the manager of Union Billiards. And he said to me at the airport, he said, look here, Ray, he said, with your exhibition, with the way you've been playing, people like you, you've got a nice attitude, and you should turn professional. And if you do that, then I'll have you back out here within a month on a tour. And I went home and I spoke to my wife, Susan, and I said, what am I going to do? And she said, well, you've got to do what you want to do. And I turned professional, retired from the police force, went to South Africa, did the tour, and came home with enough money to buy a semi-detached bungalow, number 2 Eldon Avenue. I was hardly ever around, I was away all the time, which is very sad really, because it was sad for them and it was sad for me. Difficult times really, because you're away. I remember doing a 5-month tour. In fact, I did 2 5-month tours and about half a dozen 3 or 4 month tours. And to be away from your family for that length of time is not good. It's not right. It shouldn't be so. It causes trouble. It causes dissent. It causes... I'm away playing in front of sponsored events with all beautiful women around me and what have you. And I'm away from my wife for 4 or 5 months. Things are going to happen. Things are going to go wrong, which is sad. She brought my daughter and my son up, really, yeah. So, sad in many ways, successful in others, but not so successful with my family. I never had any ambitions to be a professional player. My life's ambition was to win the English Amateur Snooker Championship. And from the age of 12, I took part in every competition that you were allowed to go in, the boys, junior, youths of England and Wales, both billiards and snooker. And I played in those for 4 years before I ever won a game. But it didn't deter me, because I always used to say, when my dad said to me, he said, well, good gosh, boy, what happened to him? And I said, well, I'll get him next time, Dad. And that was my attitude. It was a learning curve, if you like. And you learn more by losing than by winning sometimes. But nothing like winning. There's nothing like losing to make you want to achieve your ambition and to get them next time, whoever you're playing against. But once you win, it changes you. You now become top of the ladder, and everybody's out to beat you and get at you. And you want to stay there. And it motivates you. And what motivates you more than anything is playing in front of huge amount of people on television. People say, how scary is that? How nervous is it? Yes, it is nerve-wracking. But you've got to be in charge of your nerves. So you are excited. You are nervous when you're playing. When I'm playing, my heart isn't where it is there. It's somewhere down in my abdomen somewhere. But you've got to control it. You've got to be in charge of it. I mean, very often I've been down to play a shot and I've got my left arm out like that. And I can feel my shirt moving like so. Your nerves of your arm moving your shirt. And you just go, whoa! And that's where I got that shrug from. I used to go, right. All he was doing was making me relax, you know, and the crowd loved it. And I used it to great effect, obviously. But it was getting the steam out of myself. So when I got down to play it again, that shiver had gone, and I was calm, and I was in control of myself and the situation. I retired from competitive play in 1988. And I retired because I knew I couldn't win. My nerves started to go. And when your nerves start to go, it's not a very pleasant thing. And when, you see, I only played snooker for a living because I wanted to win everything. And I only played it to win. And the day that I couldn't win, I retired. I could have stayed there for another 10 years, being sort of in the last 16, last 64, and earned a lot of money. No, I'm a winner. If I can't win it, I don't want to be in it. And that's me. You've got to be good at what you do in life. You've got to have an ambition to do something and to achieve it if possible. And then if you can make it as a living, better still. But with all those things, you know, as good as one is to become into that situation, you need something else. You need two things. You need a bit of luck, and you need to be in the right place at the right time. And when I was in Scotland on that tour, I was in the wrong place, but I was at the right time because somebody down in the Home Office liked me because of what I did when I was a young lad in those early days when I never won anything. The way I behaved, if you like. It had a reaction on them to say, well, he's the one to go and represent us. He can handle this. And I went there. And that's how it happened. So that was a bit of luck and good fortune and being in the right place. You need a lot of things to help you along, honestly. Life isn't very easy, it's difficult. Very easy. And when you get it, you've got to look after it and cherish it. If you're lucky enough to get it.
Fit as a flea. And what happened? He did me 6-1. Yeah. Couldn't complain against that. He played super snooker. So last night, about 8 double gin and tonics. In bed at 3 o'clock this morning. Tired today. Played marvellous.
So I'm no good at playing. Well, what I'm really saying, I could be your tournament referee.